This is Abnormal Exchange.
Exchange.
Hola, prima.
Hola, prima.
What is up, man?
So, we have a heavy case today.
Yeah, man.
We're going to be doing a missing persons case. This is an active missing person case from 2013.
Yeah. Going on 7 years, right?
7 years.
In August.
Yeah. So, this is the story of Bryce Laspisa. So, we did a lot of research for this case, and there are definitely a lot of
Weird shit. Very weird.
Confusing points. So we put this timeline together as best as we could. So we're just gonna what we're gonna do is just run through the timeline, right? Like straight, like
straight up of what we found on the internet,
all the information in the best type of chronological order that we can, and then we'll get into the why, what,
who, what, where,
how,
when. Yeah, exactly.
And maybe some possible theories of what exactly happened, because this is a very strange case.
Yeah.
And
it's sad.
It's very sad.
It's very sad. Young kid, literally missing off, like just dropped off the face of the earth, you know? And it's crazy. Nuts.
So we'll start from the beginning. So we'll give a little bit of background here. Bryce Laspisa was born on April 30th, 1994. His parents were Mike and Karen Laspisa. He grew up in Naperville, Illinois, and after his parents retired, after he graduated high school, they moved to California. He was a talented artist. He decided to pursue a degree in graphic and industrial design.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was a super talented artist and had developed this portfolio that was bomb.
Yeah. Like,
and
wow.
Everybody thought he was going places with this. So he was obviously a talented person with a bright future ahead of him.
Mm-hmm. And then he went to the school. They have like a special area for the graphic designing, right?
Yeah. And his school was about... Did we find out how far away the school was?
Wasn't it 7?
About 7 hours.
7 hours from his parents.
About a 7 hour drive.
Both in California. Both in Cali. But about a 7 hour drive. He was in Chico. His apartment was in Chico. I'm sorry. His apartment was in Chico. Not the school. His apartment was in Chico. He went to...
Sierra College. He built a life there at Sierra College. He had a girlfriend. He had great friends.
He was a sophomore, right?
He was entering his sophomore year, so he did great flying colors his freshman year. Yeah. And, all on the outside seemed well. But apparently something was going on with him because... late August of 2013, his friends started noticing some odd behavior. And
a couple days up to his when he went missing, right? Like days or weeks. It's really not specified when you look at, like, some places say days before, but other places say weeks as well, that he was doing really weird thing.
We'll start a couple days before this.
Yeah.
Let's start on August 26, 2013. He went to classes as normal. He actually had a conversation with his mom that day. She said he sounded totally fine. It was a great normal conversation. Apparently, there was also a photo of him from that day, and he seemed completely normal and happy. Okay. The next day, Tuesday, August 27, 2013. This is when he starts to act a little bit strange. Okay. His girlfriend noticed that he was acting kind of out of character. His roommate and his girlfriend both knew that he had been taking a ADHD medication.
Yeah, calling it that pill.
She referred to it as that pill, which through our research, we believe was the drug Vyvanse.
Yes, which is specifically for ADHD. Medicine. People
but his friends and his roommate said that, he was taking this medication to stay up all night.
Did he have ADHD? We don't know. We don't think so, but...
No, from our research, he was not diagnosed.
Places say yes. I mean, like one place said yes, but was never a diagnosis.
It was a blogger that said yes, but all of the other reports kind of allude to the fact that, like, he was taking this recreationally. He was not prescribed this medication.
Which a lot of kids actually do that. A lot of kids in college,
it keeps Adderall was a huge thing.
If you don't have ADHD, it makes you stay up. That's like the big thing of it is people that do have ADHD, sometimes it does make them sick, but more or less it kind of makes them regular. People that don't have it, it keeps them awake so they can, do studying and things that they need to do. That's why you hear a lot of college kids, doing any type of ADHD medication.
Right.
So, okay, go ahead.
Right. So his friends kind of knew that he was using this medication. Apparently he was mixing it with alcohol, which is never a good thing to mix pills and alcohol. So it kind of just added to his whole, this was how he was acting.
Spiral, yeah. And then on the 27th, he gave away.
Well, this is the same day.
Yeah, the same day. He gave away some of his things to his friends, just giving them away for no reason whatsoever.
His friends also started feeling like something was going on with him. He was saying that something was bothering him, although he never really specified exactly what was bothering him, but something was troubling him.
So like some of his friends were, he gave away his, like, a prized possession, his Xbox, especially a kid. Like, that's like their...
Okay, so he was taking medication to stay up all night playing video games. Obviously,
he gives it away.
His Xbox was a college boy giving away his Xbox.
Yeah, any
like,
kid.
something is, like, red alert, you guys. Like, what is going on?
That's scary right then and there.
Okay, he also gave away a pair of diamond earrings, apparently, that his mother gave him.
Yep.
Which, okay, why would you give this away? Who did he give it to? I'm not exactly sure, but he gave it away. Okay,
that's
fine.
Suspicious. Like, that would, like, be a red
Xbox,
flag. Yeah. That's
right
flag
there.
On the play. What's going on?
Yes.
Especially, like, it's one thing if he wasn't using it. I'd be like, well, okay, hey, but this kid's using it all the time, and then he's just giving it, not selling it, but giving it away. It's weird.
Exactly.
Weird.
So now let's get to August 28th. Okay, so now we're on Wednesday, August 28th. He texts his girlfriend. He was dating a girl named Kim Sly. They apparently had a great relationship, very happy couple. And he decides on the 28th of August that he's going to break up with her via text message.
Yep, at 10 p.m. at night.
Completely out of character.
Yeah.
He texts her that, I think you would be better off without me. She's like, first of all, we are dating.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
He treated her, like, really well. So like, they had, like, a really good relationship.
She's like, what is going on with you?
What's going on?
You need to come to my apartment and talk to me about this. Like,
what's going on?
We're not breaking up over text message, so why don't you come over here?
And talk about it and see what the hell is up. Yeah.
So now he leaves to go to his girlfriend's house. His roommate calls his mother. His roommate named Sean calls Karen,
his mom.
Bryce's mom.
Yeah.
And says, look,
something's up, dude.
Something's going on with Bryce. He's been acting very strange. He's giving away stuff. I don't know what's going on. And he just tried breaking up with Kim over text message.
And now he's going over there.
So I'm not really sure what the mom's reaction was. Maybe she just thought, well, he's a college kid. He wants to break up with her. Okay, fine. So now he's at the girlfriend's house, and she's right away notices, okay, he is way off. Something is going on with him.
Really aggravated and weird.
To the point where she says, you know what? I don't think you're okay to drive. I'm taking your keys.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of going back and forth.
And that's weird. For her to take away his keys, that means something's up. Because it's one thing to be like, okay, let's just sit here and talk. But to take away, usually when you take a person's keys away, what? It's because they're impaired or you don't trust them to drive.
Right.
So that's scary.
Yeah, so Bryce gets mad. Now they're going back and forth, and they decide, all right, we're calling. She says, I'm calling your mother. He says, well, yeah, let's call my mom. So they get Karen on the phone again. This is the same day that the roommate called her and said, your son's acting strange. Now we've got the girlfriend on the phone saying, yes, your son is acting strange.
Yeah, because
he's wrong.
Pissed off because she won't give him his keys.
Right.
So he's mad because he wants to leave.
She tells the mom, I took his keys away.
He's not acting right. Something's wrong.
She says, put my son on the phone. So Bryce gets on the phone with his mother and he says, Mom, I'm fine. She's just mad because we broke up and I'm totally fine, whatever. And
the mom offers to fly out there.
The mom
to intervene.
says, what's going on with you? I'll fly out there tomorrow. And he says, no, it's fine. I'm just going to go home and get some sleep and then I'll come home tomorrow. I have something.
He's a good hour. He's hours away from his mom. So
hours. Yeah. So, but he says, I'm going to come home tomorrow. I have a lot that I want to talk to you about.
Yes. So he definitely had something weighing on him because he specified.
100%.
His mom said that,
right.
He wanted to talk to us about something.
So mom gets back on the phone with the girlfriend and says, my son's fine. Just let him go. Give him back his keys.
He leaves her apartment at 11:30 p.m.
Right.
And he's supposed to go right home. That was the whole deal.
To his apartment.
To his apartment in Chico to go get some sleep and then wake up the next day and go to his parents' house, which is a good ways away from his apartment.
Now, a couple hours later at 1 a.m., Bryce called his mother back. But she missed the call. I guess she was sleeping.
Yeah.
And she missed the call. She figured that he was just kind of letting her know, listen, I got home to my apartment or whatever.
Yeah, I'm good. Which people do all the time, just to let you know, hey, I'm home, I'm okay.
However, the phone records that were pulled.
Yeah, he wasn't home.
Says that at that time he wasn't home.
He was an hour away from his apartment in what is said to be an isolated area.
Right. So now, the next day, August 30th, 2013.
This is 11 a.m., right?
Yes, about 11 a.m., parents get a call from Bryce saying that something happened and he had to utilize their roadside assistance that's on their insurance plan.
Yeah, at 9 a.m.
he ran out of gas. And now he's located near Button Willow Rest Area in California, which is just west of Bakersfield. So he had traveled about 350 miles at that point.
From his apartment. Yeah, in Chico.
So now the roadside assistance contacts a man named Christian, who I guess works for the roadside assistance.
Called Castro Tire and Gas.
Right. And this man's name is Christian, and God bless Christian.
Oh my gosh. Saint.
He really is.
So when people are saying like, oh, he may have something to do with this case. No, dude. No. The things he did went beyond, above and beyond.
Yeah. So he, through the roadside assistance, Christian delivers Bryce 3 gallons of gas.
Yes.
The cost of the gas was around $20, so that gets charged to the parents' card, and the charge records show that that's exactly where he was, in Button Willow.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Button Willow.
Yeah, he was in Button Willow.
And they figure, oh, he's on his way to come see us, because if you look at the map, you know, if you were to GPS this and look at a map and see, it is on the way to his parents' house. So they figure, oh, he's on his way to us. So that's what they figure, that he's on his way coming to see us. So, and they're in Laguna
Niguel.
Niguel.
So now they see all this happening, this activity. So they try calling Bryce, and he doesn't answer.
And and their house is 3 hours from Buttonville.
Yeah. So a few hours go by. They know the gas was delivered because they saw the charge. A few hours goes by, and Bryce is still not home. So now the parents decide to call back the tire place, and they spoke with Christian again. And they say, can you please go back to the place where you saw our son and see
if he's there, or like, is he okay? Did he leave? Because he's not answering the phone at this point.
So Saint Christian now
seriously
gets back in his car and drives out, and Bryce is still there.
He's still sitting in the same spot at the rest stop.
Yeah.
Bryce talks to his mom on Christian's phone.
So Christian calls Karen back and says, so I see your son. He's still here. He puts Bryce on the phone with his mom on his phone. His mom's like,
what are you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
Why are you still sitting there?
And he's like, nothing.
Like, wouldn't that have been right there? Like, babe, you've been sitting there for how long now?
Yeah. Like, obviously he's not doing nothing. Obviously nothing. It's not nothing that's going on with him.
Yeah.
Like, these red flags are now starting to build. So at the beginning, where it's like the parents are kind of just like, okay, you know, whatever.
Yeah, like little things here and there.
Give
okay.
him back his keys.
Yeah. But now this is weird.
Now it's starting to get weird.
And Christian says he's okay. His eyes just appear to be a little red.
Right. Karen gets on the phone back with Christian again and says, you know, and Christian's like, look, he seems fine.
Yeah.
His eyes are a little red, but
which is,
you know, maybe he's tired. Maybe he's upset. I don't know. But
who knows?
He definitely seemed with it, according to Christian at that time.
Yeah. He talks to his mom at 12:30.
So now the parents expect that he's going to be on his way from this point, right? So now they think, okay, well, from here, he should be home around 3 p.m. This time comes and goes. Bryce does not show up. They try calling him. He's not answering the calls.
6 hours pass, right?
Another 6 hours goes by. They still don't hear from him.
They haven't heard anything from him.
6 more hours go by.
That's insane. Insane. And you're not freaking out?
Yeah. So now they decide, okay, let's check on his phone and see where he's at. Now over the now with
it's
those
9 hours.
6 hours plus the 3 hours from the time that they got off the phone with him.
9 freaking hours.
9 freaking hours.
And this kid only goes 8 miles.
Yes.
8 miles in 9 hours.
Now this is the part where I start to get annoyed.
Yes.
And I'm going to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
I start to get annoyed as a parent because...
Exactly. We're parents. So it's not like we're sitting here going, oh, well, you know, you don't know. If that was my kid, now it's okay. Everything is really getting weird.
So you know the general area that he's in. You spoke to this man who has now twice had contact with your son.
He's not that far from the house. Like, she can get in the car and drive to him. It's not like he's 7 hours away.
Right. Or how about, you know, St. Christian, can you please...
Exactly. Sit with my kid
Wait there with him until we get there.
Yeah.
We'll compensate you, whatever. Please just hang out there with him. Like, you know, he's not doing anything wrong, so it's not like he needs to be detained. But, like, obviously,
no one can... Everyone that's looked at this case... done research, they all don't understand at that point, after 9 hours have gone by, why haven't they tried to go to their child?
So instead of doing that...
And we're not trying to put them down or anything like that. I can't even imagine what they're going through, not having their child, but it's just weird. It's just weird.
It's very weird. But like I said, maybe they just still, for some reason,
maybe
they were in denial. They didn't want to believe something was really like...
Yeah, maybe they're trying to give him his freedom and, like, you know, want to be up his ass or, you know, whatever. I mean, some people just parent differently. You know, us and a lot of other people would have been there. I probably would have been there the moment they said, your kid's acting weird.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. You go home.
But, you know, to their defense, they didn't do nothing at this point. Okay.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
It's 9 p.m.
It's not like they didn't do anything at all.
At this point, what they did was they called the police.
Yeah.
They called the California Highway Patrol.
That's very smart to do.
So the officers end up locating Bryce, and now he's on another road in Buttonwillow. The cops actually searched the car. They did a sobriety test.
He's on Lagoon Drive. He's on Lagoon Drive in Buttonwillow. So he's not at the same spot at the rest stop. He has moved. Like they said, the 8 miles
He's still in Buttonwood. Yeah, he's still in Buttonwillow, but he's just on a different road.
Yeah.
Okay, so they search his car for drugs. They do a sobriety test. Nothing comes up. They totally think he's fine.
And they're like, oh, call your mom. They're like, call your mom. And he is very reluctant to do so. So the police officer has to call the mom for him.
Yeah.
On his phone, I'm assuming. And then he talks to his mother because he just did not want to talk to her, which is very weird. It's peculiar. It's very weird.
So the cops leave. They spend about 20 minutes with him and then they leave. Mom calls him back around 10 o'clock and says, like, what's going on? Where are you? He finally answers. What are you doing? Yeah. Yes, he finally answers. And he says, I'm just going to go hang with friends later.
What?
Hello?
What? Like, what? You're like, how far from your apartment? What do you mean you're going to hang out with friends? Who do you know in that area? Like, these are all the questions that are going through my mind. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Who do you know out there? What the hell are you talking about? Are you going to drive back home? Where you go? I don't understand.
What is happening right now?
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're sitting in an area for 9 hours, not moving, only moving 8 miles, and now all of a sudden, there's been 13 hours go by, and now you're going to hang out with your friends? What the fuck are you talking about? No.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're coming to get you. You need to just, gotta breathe, because it's so aggravating.
Right.
It really is. At that point, you need to be a parent and be like, you know what? No, you're not hanging out with your friends. What the hell is going on? Something's not right here.
We just spent the whole day with you. Like, now you're acting
calling
weird.
The police and like everything. And like, now this
you
is
had
weird.
This thing that you wanted to talk to me about.
Yes.
Like something that's bothering you. Obviously,
that would have been mine right there. Is you had to talk to me about something.
Right.
You're acting weird.
You had to talk to me about something that was so important that you could not talk to me about it on the phone.
And now you're basically parlaying.
Right.
And it, I don't know, man.
So time goes by. Now 11 o'clock. He stops to get a drink somewhere.
Still in Buttonwillow.
Okay.
So he literally hasn't moved in over 12 hours, right?
Yes. So he tells his mom.
He's on I-5 South.
Right. But he wasn't on
I-5 South. He wasn't, yeah.
He did stop at a gas station to get more gas.
Valero Station on Lagoon Drive.
At the Valero.
Valero, my bad. Still in Buttonwillow. He got $39 worth of gas. Still hasn't moved. Still in Buttonwillow.
All right, so now he ends up calling roadside assistance again. When they get there, he's still in the same area. So at this point now, we're looking at 13 hours in this town of Buttonwillow.
Yeah.
Not moving.
Most he's going is 8 miles. That's the furthest he's gone.
Actually, let's backtrack.
Yeah, backtrack that, because that was Christian.
It was Christian again.
So he's still in Buttonwillow, hasn't left. He gets the gas.
He gets the gas, and
Christian.
Is
back in. St. Christian is back in the picture.
Christian comes back into the picture now.
Being a saint that he is.
St. Christian. He says, you know what? All right. He tells the mom, I'm going to follow him.
To get him onto I-5.
To make sure that he gets onto I-5, because that's literally the straightaway. Getting on I-5 is
right to his parents.
It's the beeline back home to his parents' house.
We GPS'd it. It is literally right there.
And Christian does that. He follows Bryce in his car and sees Bryce get onto I-5.
He takes the exit, because this is a rest stop area. So
that is literally the most that this man could have done. I mean, aside from the fact that I still believe that the parents should have asked him, can you just wait there with our son while we come out?
Yeah.
He did everything that a stranger could have done. Like, God bless Christian, because he really went above and beyond. And I feel bad, actually, because I'm sure that at this point he does harbor some kind of guilt.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine, right? He's probably like, I should have just
He's one of the last people that confirmed to see Bryce alive. So.
Exactly. That's insane. And he was supposed to arrive at his parents' house by 3:25 a.m.
That was right. That's what the GPS was saying. That's what the GPS that's what he kept telling his mom. So, So anyway, so now we have confirmation that Bryce is on I-5 heading towards his parents' house. Great.
Now, 1:50 a.m., Bryce contacts his mom to tell her that he detoured off of I-5, but then was back on I-5. So he wasn't making sense.
So he calls his mom at
1:50.
At 1:50 a.m. and says that he had gotten off of I-5 but made his way back onto I-5.
So he basically had a detour.
And then she talks to him again at 2:08 a.m. and this is the last time that she speaks with her son.
Last time.
2:08 a.m. is the last time that she speaks with her son. And he says basically, listen, I'm tired. I'm pulling off of I-5. I'm going to get some sleep in my car. I'm in a suburban area.
I've been up for Karen. Well, Karen thinks that Bryce has been awake for almost 48 hours.
At that point,
that point, yeah. And she didn't want to argue with his decision. So, she's like, yeah, go get some sleep, hon. Which is still weird to me. But hey, come on. How many times you've been on the road and you're like, all right, let me just pull over. I'm going to sleep in this rest stop, get some sleep.
Right. Unfortunately, Bryce did not pull over to get some sleep. At this point, he continues south.
Yep.
And he does exit I-5 about, what did we say, 90 minutes away
later.
From his...
Yep.
90 minutes later and about 90 minutes away from his parents' house.
Yes.
He pulls off of I-5 and he starts circling. Because
it's about 2:15 a.m., the CCTV.
Right.
Sees him.
So here's the thing. The CCTV caught him at 2:15 a.m. Is that what they're saying?
Yes. So what I'm thinking, that 90 minutes, because remember we Googled it?
Yeah.
From Button to Lake Castaic is an hour and a half.
Right.
So that's the 90 minutes.
So when he talked to his mom, he wasn't in a suburban area. He was actually already in this area because...
Yes, he was already there. He was already in Lake whatever the fuck.
This is minute...
Because at 2:08 he talked to her, then 2:15 they see him on CCTV.
Right. This is minutes after he talked to his mom. So he's seen on the CCTV camera, and now he's circling, and he's seen on this camera 2 more times.
At 2:15 they see him on the camera. That's an actual timestamp.
That's 7 minutes after he talked to his mom.
Yep.
Okay?
Exactly.
That same exact camera captured him for the last time at 4:29 a.m. on that camera. Okay? So 4:29 a.m. he's seen on CCTV camera for the last time circling in this area. So
what was he doing from 2:15 to 4:29?
Circling.
Was he circling nonstop for almost 2 hours?
Either he was confused, he was having some kind of episode, he was contemplating something. Something was going on.
Crazy.
He circled that area 3 times, and the last time he was seen was at about 4:30 a.m. The next morning, the California Highway Patrol goes to his parents' house to ask about the car, if they own a 2003 Toyota Highlander. And they say, yes, that's our
son's car.
We let our son drive that car. And they come to find out that this car was found wrecked in an embankment off of the area where it comes to find out that was the last place that Bryce's car was caught on camera.
They caught him on the CCTV. Yes.
Yes. The exact time of the wreck, they're not exactly sure of, but it's going to be somewhere, obviously, after 4:30
to 5:15.
To 5:15.
Yeah, because the last time they see him is 4:29 on that CCTV. So, yeah, that's their assumption. They have no idea.
But it's funny because the police found the car at Lake Castaic off that embankment because they were going there to do some kind of police training activity.
And
they came across this wrecked car, and so they run up to the car.
The car is overturned and wrecked and on an access road leading to Castaic Lake Recreation Area. And this is at like 2 hours north of his parents' house.
Right. So it's about 2 hours north. So he was only 2 hours away from his parents' house, which is just so maddening.
And what's crazy is if you put this in the GPS and you start from the rest area to the lake to his parents, it is literally a beeline.
Yeah.
Legit. Like it is, so he was on I-5 and we feel like he was maybe contemplating.
Who knows? But this embankment was not just like a little thing. It was a huge embankment that after investigating, I mean, they said that it looked like he was accelerating towards it. Mm-hmm. And they also said it's an optical illusion. Like, it looks like there's deeper water than what it actually is. So, at this point, he runs off the embankment. The car is overturned.
He's not in the car.
He's not in the car.
It's not like they find him in the car. He's not there.
So now it goes down the embankment. It overturns on its side. The back windshield is kicked out from the inside.
Yes.
And they find blood on the passenger seat headrest.
Like him trying to get out,
Right. So it was him trying to climb out. And he leaves
all his things there.
Everything.
His cell phone, his laptop, his wallet is found outside of the car. I mean, everything's there besides him.
But his duffel bag that he carried was actually found outside of the car and it was unzipped. So whatever was in that duffel bag, he took with him. Like what was in the duffel bag that was so important? And why didn't he just keep the duffel bag with him?
Maybe his like bug out bag. Exactly. Why wouldn't you just take the duffel bag with you? That is weird.
Something was in that bag.
Because some people have a bug out bag.
Yes.
Where they like put whatever they need to put in to get the hell out. Yeah. Why wouldn't he take
something was removed from the bag before he left the area? So they're not exactly. They still don't know exactly what that is. So so now they're investigating this. I mean, the first thing that they do is they look at the tracks. The tracks that go down the embankment showed that he was accelerating when he went down this path. So they felt like it was intentional. They said this looks like he was purposely trying to.
Yeah, he made no effort to use his brakes. That's what they're saying. Like they don't see it in the tire pattern of any effort to use brakes at all, which is weird. you know, you would definitely hit your brakes without a doubt. He didn't hit his brakes whatsoever, you know, so that's.
So, like, was he, like, kind of nodding off and falling asleep?
Well, that's what I said. Maybe he was asleep. Maybe he was knocked out and he woke up, crashed. Yeah. I mean, like, you think about it, say you're driving and your foot's on the pedal.
Or was it purposeful? Like, we still actually don't know.
Was he trying to kill himself?
Because Bryce is now officially missing. Search parties get together. Now they get dogs. They get helicopters.
Yeah, and they know he's not hurt to the point where, like, he's dead somewhere.
No, because there's no blood. There's no blood on the scene except for the little bit of blood.
Exactly.
That was found
They know
the
from the preliminary report that the blood is not to the fact where he's bleeding out somewhere or whatever. You know, it's not that serious. He's hurt, but he's not that bad.
So they said, you know, was he seeking shelter? Now they're looking all over that kind of immediate
area. Does he have amnesia? Like what? Exactly. So they're looking everywhere for this kid, and they have search parties going, and divers are inside the lake, and you know, because maybe he killed himself. That's what they're thinking. Like maybe he threw himself in the water afterwards because he didn't succeed. You know, and they're going and diving and looking and nothing.
There's nothing's coming up. So now a few days goes by and this search party is still going on. I mean, they are not giving up. Coincidentally, the firefighters get a call to respond to a brush fire in the surrounding area of the Castaic Lake. Okay. So the firefighters come out. What they find is a burning body.
So right there, you're like, that's him.
Right away. They're like, that has to be him.
Definitely. Somebody took him, kidnapped him, and burned his body.
The body was very badly burned.
Yeah, they had no idea who it was.
They couldn't tell right away. So, of course, they had to go in and do testing. So
you got to wait for the coroner's report to determine who it is. And it's not him.
It wasn't him. But it was a murder victim.
Yes. Of a 35-year-old man who was shot in the torso and then was dumped and set on fire. So that's sad. But it wasn't Bryce. It's crazy. Because you're like, wow, that's not far at all. And you're talking days after he's missing. So it's like,
in that same
that's
area.
Weird. You don't think I don't believe in coincidences. I feel like that, I mean, maybe it had nothing to do with it, but I just feel like that's weird. Why would you drop a body in an area where they're looking for somebody? You know that there's volunteers everywhere and there's police and divers. Like, what the hell? Why would you do that? Like, there's so many other places. Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
To me, that's fucking weird.
Unless they just didn't know, but
come on, exactly. Maybe they were just driving off of I-5 because apparently I-5 is right there, right?
Yeah, it was right there.
So they could have just took I-5 off and
it was also kind of a heavy route for trucks. There was a truck stop nearby.
Oh, yes.
Which actually, this is kind of where it gets a little more weird, is that the bloodhounds actually tracked Bryce's scent to a truck stop nearby.
Yes. Like, did he go there? Or did he catch a ride from someone?
Well, he did not have life-threatening injuries.
Yes.
So somehow he was able to make it from the car wreck to this truck stop.
On foot, of course, you know.
On foot, or did he catch a ride?
Who knows? How far was the truck stop? That's the question. Because if it's close, then he could just walk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, if the bloodhounds caught the scent, I'm guessing that he walked.
Because that's what I would think.
If he got into a car,
kind of lose the scent, but I mean, it could track back. It could, because it's kind of, you know what I mean. But I personally think it's within walking distance.
Yeah,
he walked.
It was on Castaic Road for sure. It was on the same. It was on the same road as that lake. So he walks to this truck stop. I guess that's the theory here, and then from there they lose the trail.
Look at this. I just saw something. His family actually turned to psychics. I didn't know that, for help, and a psychic sent in a following tip, and she had posted it to the because they have a Facebook page for Bryce, and she said that the only thing that she was seeing for Bryce is that he is either in or around a lake. And she said that when she looked it up on Google Maps, it appears to be a V-shaped lake. She wasn't sure if it was the area where the car was turned over or what, but she said that she was drawn to the top right-hand point of a V.
Yeah, but I think that the parents also have contacted several psychics about this.
And then she says, I don't know if he's alive or not. What do you mean? If he's in the fucking lake, what are you talking about?
This is the problem. These psychics love doing this to these families.
It's free publicity.
Right. And there have been psychics that have literally told the family that he's not alive.
Yes.
Some of them say he is alive. So at this point,
I think that's really fucked up. I think that's really messed up to sit there and you're sitting there and basically, you know, you're doing that to a family, giving them hope and I mean, like, my thing is, okay, let's say his body is in the lake. Like, let's discuss it now. So now we know Bryce has never been found.
Well, let's start from the beginning. So he's acting weird. He's giving stuff away to his friends. Let me find these text messages.
He's on ADHD. He's not on ADHD medicine. He is taking ADHD medication that has been known to cause psychosis. has been known to cause psychotic breakdowns.
Right.
And what the things with ADHD medication is, a lot of people don't know, but even if you have ADHD, it can go really good. And then all of a sudden, like 6 months into it, you could literally just start having mental breakdowns. It's scary. So imagine a person that is not supposed to be on it, let's say. I mean, you know how many times you hear of horrible side effects that happen with not just ADHD medication, other medications,
Right.
you know, and then you're mixing those meds with alcohol and God knows whatever else. And not sleeping. Come on, they've done so many like researches where people don't sleep and like like crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
Like your body needs that sleep.
You go into psychosis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Going back to
The text messages.
So on the 28th of August, now Bryce is missing. His roommate seems to think he's just trying to find himself, quote unquote.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But there is text messages shared on the 28th at 2:05 p.m. Bryce texts his roommate, Sean.
Now, this is 2 days before he was missing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
He texts his roommate, Sean, "Love you, bro. Seriously. You are the best person I've ever met. You saved my soul." And Sean responds back, "I love you too, man. You have an amazing life full of love and blessings. Don't waste that. You have too many people that love you, Bryce."
Almost talking to him like off the ledge. You have too many people that love you, Bryce. That right there, to me.
Well, his friends did say they definitely knew something was bothering him. Like, he was very troubled, and they didn't know exactly what it was.
Wouldn't that feel like, you know? Like, if you read that, you have so many people that love you.
But that doesn't mean that he shared suicidal thoughts with his friends. It could just mean that his friend was concerned.
Just letting him know, hey, man, we love you.
I don't know what's going on with you. It's clear something's bothering you, but I just want you to know whatever it is, like,
we're here, man. We love you. And you have so many other people that love you because he sees with his own eyes.
Exactly.
That this kid is going through something.
Yeah.
You know, and does the roommate know more? I don't think so. I mean, he may. I don't think so. I think so far from what we've done our research and seen, he's been pretty forthcoming. You know, I mean, maybe there are like little things that like he doesn't want to like almost like taint his memory in a sense. You know,
who knows? Because here's the other thing too. It's like, you know, he's giving things away. That's kind of a weird sign.
Yes, that right there is like a.
That's not like I'm going away and I'm coming back soon.
Yes.
That's kind of like you're giving away diamond earrings that your mother gave you.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you know, what was going on
with California is a lot of, you know, when we were doing research, right? So many people, there are so many people out there homeless. There's homeless everywhere. But in Cali, it's insane. Like the percentage of homeless kids, you know, under the age of 30 is astronomical. It's crazy. And they just don't want to be found. They don't want to be found. I mean, that could be the case.
Yeah.
You know, but this is a kid who is red-orange hair. He stands out. He stands out. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, you don't know. I mean, it's that simple. You look at his Facebook page, there's only 30,000 people that follow that page.
I mean, how many different possibilities are there for what exactly happened? Is it really so many, or is it kind of just like, one, he wanted to get away. Yeah. He was feeling.
What was he going to talk to his parents about? Did he have a drug problem?
Was he depressed?
Yes. What is it?
Felt like he was addicted to these drugs. Did he want to talk to his parents about like
getting help?
Just getting help. Yeah. Maybe he was starting to notice some psychoses, like whatever.
Because it is if you go do your research on the medication, you'll see some fucked up stories, man.
Oh,
you will see some, like, okay, there's always, like I said before, there's always, you know, bad side effects of medication, right? But with this is some serious crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like hallucinations, straight psychotic schizophrenic breakdowns of like, and then what's crazy is some of these people are still on it. Like, that's so scary. Like,
it is scary, but I mean, I guess it works for some people. But
if you're having hallucinations and you're fucking having like schizophrenic breakdowns, okay, I'm saying though, did that happen to you before?
Right.
You took it? No. So how the fuck is it helping you?
Right.
To me, that's like, I don't know, dude. I don't think you should take that medicine. And what's crazy is we've never heard of it. You've heard of Adderall. You've heard of Ritalin. You know, I mean, Focalin. I've never heard of this medication before, ever.
Right.
I know a lot of ADHD medications, and I've never heard of it before. And that's just so weird.
Well, he's a college kid.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, too. Right. Yeah, when we grew up,
stuff is available. And just stuff that you never really hear of, and it's available to them. So that kind of goes into another theory, which is, where was he getting this medication from?
Yeah.
Where was he getting the ADHD medication from that he was taking to stay up all night? And was this person involved somehow? Like, did he owe this person a lot of money? Maybe he was scared that he got in too deep with something that he didn't know how to get out of.
Yep.
So he was running away from somebody. Maybe he was being threatened by somebody and he felt like he had to kind of just go into hiding.
There's like so many possibilities. And it's
or maybe he felt like someone was after him.
And nobody was.
And nobody
was because exactly you have that paranoia.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, you got a medication that has these horrible side effects and then you're not sleeping on top of it because that's a side effect.
Right.
So put all that shit together and you got a nasty combo.
Right.
You got a nasty combo. And then you're driving on top of all this.
Right.
You know, like, dude, it's scary.
Yeah. Or was it simply that he was just really depressed? He wanted to talk to his parents about it. But at the end of the day, his depression kind of took over and he just wanted to
be done
and not be
with
found.
Everything. Exactly. You know, whether that not be found is disappeared from the, you know, from people or he's dead, either or. You know?
They were so close to Mexico that he could have made his way to that truck stop. I mean,
we said a couple hours. It was from Tijuana.
He drove around several times in that loop, right, before his car crashed. Maybe he saw the truck stop and said, you know what? This is perfect.
Yep.
I'm going to
hitch a ride.
I'm going to throw my car off the embankment. I'm going to walk down to that truck stop and I'm going to hitch a ride and I'm going to make my way to Mexico and then I'm going to figure everything out. Shit. Whether he wanted to end his life in Mexico, whether he wanted to start over, whether he wanted to hide in Mexico.
Remember I told you about that. There's a documentary on Facebook. I don't remember the name of it. You know, it's like multi, you know, like through Facebook Watch or whatever. And apparently there are a lot of kids in Tijuana, Mexico City, Tijuana, all that escape from the U.S. and go down there and they don't want to be found. A lot of these kids do have some type of psychotic problems.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why I just have this theory that I feel like he was taking the meds and he didn't sleep. And I feel like he kind of fell asleep for a second and he woke up, already crashed. And there's a very big possibility that maybe when he woke up, he had no idea who he was. And he just drifted and walked. And where did he go? I don't know. Maybe his body is still in that lake and they haven't found it. Because, okay, we were saying like, well, you know, they did sonar and they searched and they did divers. But okay, let's go back to our last show where we talked about Round Valley.
Right.
Here you have a lake, right? And these bodies are popping up 13 years later, right? So it's possible. It's possible that a body can be somewhere and not pop up. So it's very, very possible because we've done the research and you know?
Right.
So who knows? It's just so sad because you really don't know. And there's been no like sightings or anything.
Yeah.
Like usually when people go missing, like you always have like bullshit. You know what I mean? There hasn't been any.
I haven't seen anything.
I think I've heard like one or two, but very, very dumb. Like one person said they saw in California where all the homeless people are. There's like a specific area. I don't remember the name of it, but there's a very, very common area of where homeless people are. And they said that they thought they saw someone that matched his description. But at the same time, this kid is a ginger, right? And I'm not saying that all gingers look alike. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm just saying they have similarities, right?
Right.
So if they saw someone sees someone with some reddish orange hair, they're like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could just be that simple. It really could. But it's crazy because you really haven't heard that many, you know? I find that weird. How many times when you see missing persons cases, right? You always hear something. But this really didn't hit news stations as much. I mean, it did hit news, but right?
I mean, there's a lot of documentaries on it now, but I mean...
But when he went missing, you know, like how many times you hear missing persons cases and they fucking blow up? And this, I'm like, wow, you go to his Facebook page, only 30,000 people liked it. I feel like, damn, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, get it out there more. You know what I mean? Like, share. Go to his Facebook page. Share it, man.
I think there's also a lot of misinformation because...
Yes. He said, she said shit.
Yeah, and like, it's just all about perspective. Like, the friend said something's wrong.
Yes.
And the mother never really felt like anything was wrong.
You have all these people's perspectives, and it's like...
In fact, right here, it says that his parents believe that he suffered from a head injury after the crash.
That's what I said.
And
possibly like amnesia.
And that he had amnesia, and that's why he's not contacting them. But hold on. Let's rewind and remember that Bryce didn't want to talk to his parents the day that he disappeared.
Yes.
Before
police
his car
had to
crash.
Put them on the phone.
The police
had to force him to go on the phone.
The police were there in front of him and said, hey, your mom's calling us looking for you. You better get on the phone and call her. And he said, I really don't want to. Can you just call for me?
Exactly.
And
like he didn't want to talk to them. Like he was going that way, but as he was getting closer, it was like you get the butterflies in your stomach. You know what I mean? Like as he was getting closer, he was like getting the butterflies in his stomach, getting more nervous of whatever he had to say. I mean, when you go to Reddit, if you ever go on Reddit and like read what people think, and some of these people are nuts. Some people even said they went to school with him. We don't know if that's true, but a lot of these people think, oh, did he owe money? Was he, waiting for someone to get drugs out there? What my thing is, one of the things I said, oh, well, maybe he was waiting to get drugs. But no, you would have saw text messages to somebody. You would have saw phone calls or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different theories to it. And I just personally think it's just that simple. He was going to go home and he was scared, whatever he was going to tell them. And I really think he was going to tell them either he was depressed or he had a problem.
Yeah.
And he was scared. That's a scary thing to admit to.
Right.
If you have a drug addiction problem, to actually admit it, that is like balls, dude. Yeah. Balls all day. Because usually when someone's an addict, they need someone to admit it, like tell them, like, hey, you're fucking up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to admit and say, hey, I have a problem here.
Yeah.
So was he going to say that to them, or nobody knows? Yeah. Like, I just can't understand how this kid, like, nobody knows anything.
Yeah, it's wild.
Nothing, no text messages, no diaries, no posts online. Like, what the...
Let's not forget that there's also the possibility that he made his way to a truck stop where he got into a car with someone that he didn't know, or somebody saw a distressed young man and took advantage of that. Yep. And maybe it wasn't a upstanding person.
Yep. Or let's say, what if he was sitting outside his car, right? He gets out the car. Okay. And he's sitting there because he's like, whoa, what the hell? Someone pulls up. Hey, man, you need a ride? You okay? I'll take you to the hospital. He gets in the car and then they track him to the stop because they stopped there for a second or to get water or whatever.
I think he made it to the truck stop because I think the bloodhounds tracked the scent as if
that is true. Like he was on
exactly.
Foot. That is true. But
either way, that doesn't mean he
didn't get in a car.
He didn't get to the truck stop and maybe somebody offered him help or he went up to just the wrong person.
Yep. Oh, come on, man. How many times? Took advantage of it. All these missing person cases and all of these murder cases, they don't end good.
Right.
People are fucked up.
So at the end of the day, I mean, he's still missing.
It's sad.
And no matter how we look at this, and hindsight is always 20/20. And I know a lot of people come down on the parents, and I don't think that they made the best decisions. But hindsight is always 20/20.
Yes.
So you can look back and say, I could have done this, I should have done this.
And everyone does that.
Right.
Everybody.
But it's
not like they didn't do anything.
But I guess in his parents' mind, they really didn't think anything was that serious.
They trusted their kid.
And my heart goes out to them because
oh my God,
not knowing where their son is has to be
gut-wrenching.
It's almost, is it almost worse than knowing if
at least you can have closure. Right. If they knew he was
bring
dead,
him home, put him to rest.
At least they could have that closure.
If he wasn't,
To them, they don't have closure because he could show up at any day. They don't know what happened to him. That to me is worse. I honestly think so. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Having kids, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
And you can't, and it's easy to sit there and say, oh, well, the parents should have did this, the parents should have did that. I mean, yeah, it is weird shit. But at the same time, everybody parents differently. And maybe they just trusted their kid, and said, no, we trust him. And they're in denial, because a lot of people, when their kids do dumb shit, like have a baby and bury it in their backyard or have a baby at a prom, or they're like, no, not my kid. What the hell are you talking about? That's not my kid, because you think you know your child and you don't. You don't. So my heart goes out to his parents all day because I can't even imagine it. I don't even want to think about, no, I couldn't.
Yeah. We're going to point you to some areas where you can find out some more information. First of all, I would say go to the Find Bryce Laspisa Facebook page.
Yeah.
There are updates on there. Yeah. Yes. You can follow along there. People are posting information, sharing information. I mean, anytime something shows up.
Yeah, they're on top of it.
They're on top of it. They're always double checking.
When they find like bodies, they're like right out. Hey, did you see? And not just the people that run the page, which are his parents, but people that are in other areas. Hey, did you hear that they found a body?
Right.
And they actually say it to the parents, and the parents are like, yep, we're looking into that. And then they give an update. Know that, it wasn't Bryce, or, right. Oh, we found a body here. And you know what I mean? So it's really good looking at that page and seeing people try to interact with the parents and help as much as they can, so it's something to really look into and just see and share it. Cause hey, you never know, your share could honestly, I'm not trying to be corny, but it really could honestly bring him home.
Yeah.
Someone could have any bit of information. Cause my thing is the bloodhounds tracked him to that truck stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody saw him.
No, there was no witnesses.
Weird. And bloodhounds, dude, they know their shit. You know what I mean? So to me, I find that very weird, right? Like nobody saw him.
Nope.
Nobody saw him walking. I mean, I understand it's a truck road. It's very desolate, right? Who knows?
Who knows? But this is classified as an endangered missing case. He was 19 years old when he went missing, which means he'd be 25 today. He was last seen wearing white cargo pants, a blue and white checkered shirt, and size 12 red and white Nike shoes, which I'm sure he is not wearing if he's still around today.
Exactly. He has a tattoo, which isn't very
He
important.
has a large tattoo of a Taurus bullhead on his left shoulder with Roman numerals.
Mm-hmm. He was, 160 pounds?
This says at the time of his disappearance, he was around 5'11", and 170 pounds.
Okay. Which that can all change. The tattoo is probably the most distinctive because he could dye his hair. And he could, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but the tattoo is probably going to be the most distinctive thing.
He has bright red hair and green eyes and a huge sparkling smile. And hopefully if he is around, he's smiling, because if you just look up pictures of him.
Oh my gosh, his smile
he's
lit up
so
the room.
sweet looking.
And that's what they said. When he walked into a room and he smiled, it actually lit the room up.
I believe that. I mean, just the pictures, like if you see him in those pictures, it just makes you want to smile back at him because his smile was so big.
So it breaks your heart. It really does.
Yeah. Anybody that has any information, no matter what it is, even the smallest little things, if you think you saw him or you think you know something, anything, you can contact the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office at 323-890-5500. You can also submit tips through email via findbrycelaspisa@gmail.com. And we're going to put all that information on our, under the description of our podcast and on our social media pages.
Yeah. You know, and God bless his family, man. If he's passed on, God rest his soul.
I know this was a hard one to get through, and not all of our episodes are going to be this heavy, but I feel like this was an important one to get out there.
Definitely.
When it's still an active missing persons case and somebody out there knows something.
Yes.
Someone
has to.
And that's always the key phrase, right, in these missing person cases is somebody knows something.
Yep.
So hopefully our little podcast might reach somebody.
And pull on your heartstrings. And
just keep the case alive and keep
that's the most important thing. Keeping it alive.
Keep Bryce at the forefront of our thoughts and
hopefully one day he'll get home or at least give his parents closure.
Exactly.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next time.
See you on the next one.
Peace.
Bye.